Pemirsa, Dana Moneter Internasional atau IMF menilai Indonesia memiliki ketahanan yang kuat dalam menghadapi tekanan dinamika ekonomi global. Kami akan mengulas hal ini selengkapnya dalam wawancara Andini Effendi bersama dengan Kepala Perwakilan IMF di Indonesia, Nelmes.
John, thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you, and welcome to the IMF.
So, as the representative of IMF in Jakarta, how do you see the country's economy, especially amidst the global economic meltdown?
You know, I see the economy is actually doing very well, Indonesia's economy. We're projecting that the economy will grow a little bit more than 5% this year. And when you compare that to the global economy, that's very robust growth. It puts Indonesia kind of at the forefront of global growth. Most countries in the global economy are growing at less than 4%. So growth is quite robust. We see inflation is low and quite stable. Government budget deficits are low, government debt is low by international comparison, and the current account, although it has increased, the current account deficit has increased recently. A lot of this increase is because of increased imports for infrastructure investments, and that will help the country down the road. The banking sector is also very sound and very strong. So Indonesia is in good shape. The economy is doing well, but there are challenges. It doesn't mean that there aren't challenges. There are some challenges, and as you mentioned, the global economy is one challenge. We see that global growth right now is probably plateauing, and the downside risks to the outlook for global growth have actually increased. There are increased downside risks. So these are challenges. It's a challenging time. It's a time for vigilance. But we see Indonesia is well placed to be able to manage these challenges.
What about the current trade wars between the U.S. and China? How does that impacting Indonesia and also the region?
No one wins in a trade war. And I think that's important to keep in mind. No one wins in a trade war. The IMF right now is looking very closely at what the impacts would be. And we're going to be coming up with some specific analysis during the annual meetings that are forthcoming, and this is going to be one area for discussion during the annual meetings. But the potential downside impact is certainly there.
So people here are still uncertain about the current state of economy. Do you think we are on the right path to recovery?
I think that the policies that have been put in place for the Indonesian economy are broadly the right policies, and I think that the fundamentals of the economy are quite sound. As I mentioned, robust growth without large dislocations. So Indonesia is well placed. It's going to be a turbulent time over the next year or two, I think, but Indonesia is well placed to be able to manage its way through these.
But some people are even feared about, are we going to go back to where we were 20 years ago, or even the Great Recession in '08? Do you see us going back to that state?
Not at all. Not at all. Indonesia today is completely different than Indonesia was 20 years ago. And the IMF, in fact, is different than it was 20 years ago. But I see no possible scenario in which that could happen. Not at all.
And you also travel within Indonesia. What are the things that the government still needs to improve?
I've been really lucky. I've been in Indonesia for 2 years now, and I've managed to travel. I've seen Sumatra, I've been to Sulawesi, I've been all across Java, I've been to East Nusa Tenggara, I've been to West Nusa Tenggara. What I see in Indonesia is that everywhere that I go is the warmth, the hospitality, and the creativity of the Indonesian people. And this is remarkable, and it's a fantastic asset for Indonesia, for the Indonesian economy. I think that the government, to improve Indonesia, can capitalize on that, to support the people of Indonesia and boost them up and support this asset. And they can do that in a number of ways, by improving education and healthcare systems. They've already made big improvements, but further improvements that will help improve the skills of the people and provide safety nets for them. Continue putting in place infrastructure, so that will improve the connectivity of people and businesses. Improving the business environment as well. I think that's very important, so that startups can occur and that Indonesian people can engage in business more easily. And then also deepening the financial sector, the domestic financial sector. I think that's also important, so that people have access to savings and deposits.
So investing more in human resources.
Investing in people.
Investing in people is also one of the biggest critic for the current administration, saying that, oh, they're focusing too much, heavily reliable on infrastructure more than human capital. Do you see it that way, or is it more equal?
Well, I think that the government is also is not infrastructure just for itself. It's for people to use infrastructure. So if you think about a business, a person operating a business, and they need to have logistics and getting their goods from one place to the next, or whether it's tourism and improving the airports. I mean, in part of my travels, I've seen airports, and there's a lot of new airports that are being built around the country. This is helping Indonesians themselves not just improve their capacity to do business, but also improve their capacity to go and see the country and do tourism inside the country. Bringing the world to Indonesia and Indonesia to the world. Welcome to Bali, welcome to Indonesia. Selamat datang di Bali, di Indonesia. And I know that you will have an absolutely wonderful time here.
Well, Indonesia will be hosting the annual IMF World Bank Group meeting in Bali this year. From your point of view, what are the things that can be shared by Indonesia, and maybe things that we experience as a country that has passed the financial turmoil? What lessons can we share to the world?
Well, I think that first let me say that there's been a lot of work gone into organizing the annual meetings, and I think they're going to be a tremendous success. And Indonesia, the annual meetings in Indonesia is really about bringing the world to Indonesia and Indonesia to the world. There's going to be about 15,000 participants that will come, and they will get to see the tremendous potential that there is. Indonesia has a young and growing labor force. It has a very rapidly expanding digital economy, and it has vast tourism potential. And I think that the participants will be able to see this wonderful potential of the country.
So what can we maximize Indonesia as a country from this grand event?
Well, I think that clearly it's going to demonstrate that Indonesia is probably one of the best, if not the best, world-class venues for large international conferences. It's a safe place. It has extremely good organizational capacity and good physical capacity, good buildings and excellent facilities. Mm-hmm. We felt it was important to not just have a large event, but also then to try and contribute in some measure, in some way, to the livelihoods of Indonesians directly. So what we've done is we have a coral transplantation program that we've partnered up with an NGO in Bali, and the staff of the IMF, will have about 150 staff of the IMF that will come and help design coral structures that will be then placed into the ocean to rebuild reefs. And then we hope by this way it will help improve tourism and fisheries and the livelihood of Indonesians directly.
Oh, one thing that I forgot to add is the trade war issue is going to be discussed during the meeting?
Yes, certainly it will be. In fact, we will have a full-day seminar on trade issues, and this is at the top of people's minds, obviously, and so it will be one issue that is going to be discussed.
Okay, so now you seem like I see a lot of pictures of you wearing batik in Indonesia. How many pairs of batik do you have?
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm embarrassed to say or proud to say, but probably 30 batiks now. I try and buy a batik in every place that I visit in Indonesia, because to me, a batik is almost like wearing art. It's almost like wearing art, and it really is an embodiment of the creativity of the Indonesian people. And so I enjoy trying to pick them out. Of course, my wife has a big say in which ones look good on me and which ones don't. But yes, I really enjoy batik. The one that I'm wearing now, I bought in Yogyakarta.
Very nice, very beautiful indeed. So we will finish the interview with a rapid fire round. So basically, we only have 1 minute for you to answer the first word or statement comes to mind when you heard these questions. First one, Transjakarta or online taxi?
I would say trends.